Hello, Patrick here. If it's okay, I'd like to read some poetry that was significant to us in our childhood. And I grew up in the village of Glynn in County Limerick. They're all silly little poems, but all poems with, if you look at them, there's a little sort of a message in them. And the first one is, Michael met a white duck. I know, isn't it gorgeous, even the title? And it tells us maybe that there are two sides to every story. Michael Met a White Duck by J. Duhai. Michael met a white duck walking on the green. "How are you?" said Michael. "How fine the weather's been. Blue sky and sunshine all through the day. Not a single raindrop came to spoil our play." But the sad white duck said, "I myself want rain. I'd like to see the little brooklets and streams fill up again. Now I can't go swimming. It really makes me cry to see the little duck ponds look so very dry. But behold, the next morning the clouds are looking black. Down the rain came pouncing," said the duck. "Quack, quack, quack. Ponds are full of water. Ducks are full of joy. But someone else is not so pleased. And that's the little boy." Isn't it gorgeous? And so simple, yeah? Another lovely poem that I'm sure many of you are familiar with. It's Daffodils by William Wordsworth. Beautiful imagery in it. The notion of the poet wandering lonely, like a cloud. Extraordinary imagery. I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of the bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. Gorgeous? Yeah, I think so too. And one of our favourites, little poems from National School. Oh, it's just the sweetest little thing. A little poem you could say about kindness. And it's called The Kind Mousie. It's by somebody called Natalie Joan. The Kind Mousie. There once was a cobbler, and he was so wee that he lived in a hole in a very big tree. He had a kind neighbour, and she was a mouse. She did his wee washing and tidied his house. Each morning at 7 he heard the wee tap, and in came the mouse in her apron and cap. She lighted his fire and she fetched his wee broom. Then she swept and she polished his little tree room. To take any wages she always refused. So the cobbler said thank you and mended her shoes. The owl didn't eat her, and even the cat said I never would catch a kind mousie like that. Gorgeous? I think so too. And here's one that you might remember from, I think it was Three Funerals and a Wedding. It was a lovely piece called Stop All the Clocks by W.H. Auden. Beautiful love poem. Powerful. Speaks of the desolation and the loss of a loved one. Stop all the clocks. Cut off the telephone. Prevent the dog from barking with a juicy bone. Silence the pianos and with muffled drum. Bring out the coffin. Let the mourners come. Let airplanes circle moaning overhead, scribbling on the sky the message, he is dead. Put crepe bows around the white necks of the public doves. Let the traffic policeman wear black cotton gloves. He was my north, my south, my east and west, my working week and my Sunday rest. My noon, my midnight, my talk, my song. I thought that love would last forever. I was wrong. The stars are not wanted now. Put out everyone. Pack up the moon and dismantle the sun. Pour away the ocean and sweep up the wood. For nothing now can ever come to any good. Isn't that very poignant, isn't it? Isn't that extraordinarily powerful, really, in terms of the sense of loss that the lover had for the lost love? Really, really beautiful poem. I've always liked it. Here's something then a little bit different. It comes from not the 1 o'clock news, and it's quite an interesting take on afterlife, or in this case, after delivery. Some of you may be familiar with it. Again, there's a little bit of thinking in it. A little bit of thinking in it. Excuse me. In a mother's womb were 2 babies. One asked the other, "Do you believe in life after delivery?" The other replied, "Why, of course. There has to be something after delivery. Maybe we are here to prepare ourselves for what will be later." "Nonsense," said the first. "There's no life after delivery. What kind of life would that be?" The second said, "I don't know, but there will be more light than here. Maybe we will walk with our legs and eat from our mouths. Maybe we'll have other senses that we can't understand now." The first replied, "That's absurd. Walking's impossible, and eating with our mouths, ridiculous. The umbilical cord supplies nutrition and everything we need. But the umbilical cord is so short, life after delivery is to be logically excluded." The second insisted, "Well, I think there is something, and maybe it's different than it is here. Maybe we won't need this physical cord anymore." The first replied, "Nonsense. And moreover, if there is life, then why has no one ever come back from there? Delivery is the end of life, and in the after delivery, there is nothing but darkness and silence and oblivion. Takes us nowhere." "Well, I don't know," said the second, "but certainly we will meet Mother, and she will take care of us." The first replied, "Mother? You actually believe in Mother? That's laughable. If Mother exists, then where is she now?" The second said, "She's all around us. We're surrounded by her. We are of her. It is in her that we live. Without her, this world would not and could not exist." Said the first, "Well, I don't see her. So it's only logical that she doesn't exist." To which the second replied, "Sometimes when you're in silence and you focus and you listen, really listen, You can perceive her presence, and you can hear her loving voice calling down from above. Gorgeous, yeah. Gives us, an opportunity maybe to open our minds to what's after death. And the last piece I want to share with you, seeing as I'm here in Davy's meditation garden. Davy was my dad. And this was a little poem, and you can interpret it in any way you like. But for me, it's about the divine feminine. And it's called, They Were Exiles All. They were exiles all, gathered together from different places on earth, and each one told of some favourite ruler of the land that gave him birth. Said Pierre of France, now here is a picture of the queen of my land. Note the exquisite beauty of Maria Antoinette, and the beautiful, well-formed hand. Ah, beauty is nothing, the Scotsman cried. It will not save you from the hangman's knot. Just look at this face, where goodness is seen. 'Tis Mary, Queen of Scots. The Englishman smiled and quietly said, I too have a picture to show. 'Tis the noble face of Victoria the Great, the friend of the high and the low. But MacCormac was the only one there who came from the land of the green. Ah, now, boys, he said, I'd like ye to see the face of Ireland's queen. She is noble and good, gentle and true, this queen of the dear old sod. And he drew from his bosom the beautiful face of Mary, the Mother of God.